Hey guys, Dakara here and welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be discussing everything that happened in season 3 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. My thoughts, my feelings, my predictions, you name it, let's discuss it, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. Let's roll that intro and let's go. So first up, like always, is my rating for the season 3 of Buffy. I am going to give a whopping 9. I don't know if I peaked too soon by throwing that number out there, because it is a high number, and I do get nervous when I give things high ratings because I want things to still go even higher, and I'm worried that it's going to hit like a ceiling, you know. But I've done it, I've committed to it. I think it was a solid season, and my reasonings for giving it a 9 are as follows. I felt as though the emotion in this season was a lot higher than past seasons. I also felt that the relationships hit a new level in this season. We got some really low lows and we got some major highs as well, which I loved exploring. I also loved the fact that Angel returned, so that's good. But then we also lost him again, so that's quite bad. We also got that natural comedy as well that this show just does brilliantly. Like, I love the comedy in this show, guys. It always makes me smile. It makes me happy inside and makes me want to keep watching this amazing show as well. And it just makes me want to binge it, guys. It's killing me, the fact that I can't binge this show. Because if I did that, then all of my other shows would go to pot. My scheduling would be upside down. But on some days, I just can't help myself and I throw in another episode just because. But yeah, with this season, I also like the fact that it had a clear arc in it as well. We had that big bad, we had the mayor as the big bad, and it ran throughout the entire season, which was great. And we also worked through a lot of issues that we had in season 2 into season 3. I mean, more issues formed. Naturally, that's the idea of a great TV show. But we did get some loose ends tied up, which I'm always grateful for. But let's get into the fun stuff. My favorite episode, which I'm sure will come to no one's surprise. It has to be 316, guys. Doppelgangland was by far my favorite episode to date. Willow is just amazing and I love her so much. So to have two of her, a bad and a good, was, I mean, what more could I ask for? The fact that I knew that our Willow was safe as well allowed me to enjoy bad Willow being in town, because I feel like the first time we was introduced to her, I was too nervous about what actually happened to our Willow that I couldn't really just enjoy the ride. Whereas this time I knew she was safe. She was in the episode, guys. Seeing everyone's reactions to Vamp Willow as well was amazing. The perks to Vamp Willow. And I feel as though our Willow grew as a person just from seeing this other version of herself, which is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Loved it, guys. The comedy in that one was fantastic. Like, Willow's shock to seeing this like badass version of herself with boobs and a kick-ass outfit and hitting on herself was very confusing at one stage. Just whenever I think of that episode, it just makes me smile, and then you know you've got a winner. So next up is my favorite character and why. And obviously I want to say Willow, but I honestly feel like it's going to get boring me constantly saying Willow, but please just know that it is. But secondly, I'm going to say Faith. Now this one is a little bit more complex, I think. I loved the introduction of Faith. I think she was brilliant. I think she added a new layer to the show. She added some comedy, she added some spice, some flair. A new Slayer in town is always fun for me. But we also got to see the negative as well. We got to see what Buffy could be if she allowed it. You know, this drunk on power and lack of emotion when it comes to life, you know, fueling off of killing. And she made one very large mistake at killing a human at her first kill. And you could see the struggle that she faced when this happened. She kept saying, like, I don't care, I don't care. I truly believe that she did. I do believe that she did. And it's sad that it ended the way that it did with her being in a coma. Like, she just spiraled, man. She just went from bad to worse from this one very large mistake. And I feel if she handled that mistake differently, maybe confided in Buffy a little bit more rather than whacking them walls up, them defensive walls, and shutting everyone out, if she allowed her friends to actually be there for her, the outcome would have been very different. And I don't think that she would have ended up in this coma. She hasn't died, which makes me think that she's going to return, because if she wasn't, surely they would have just killed her off. Angel would have drained the life out of her and that would have been it. But they didn't go down that route. Instead, they went down, Angel's going to feed off Buffy, end up in hospital, see Faith in a coma, and, you know, it looked as though, to me, that Faith was helping Buffy in this, like, limbo land. She looked as though she was content. She looked like she was happy to see Buffy there. There was no animosity there. She still had a little snark or whatever, like that vibe that she has, but it felt like the Faith that we knew prior to her spiral. I do think we'll see her again, maybe. Might just be wishful thinking, I don't know. But I do want to say that if she does come back, I don't want this spiraled out Faith that we saw her with the mayor, and it was very toxic and messy. I want that friendship back. I want the two Slayers kicking ass and taking names. That is what I want. Next up is my most memorable scene. And for this one, I chose 317 Enemies, when Angel said second best. That twist to me was huge. I loved that, guys. Like, I loved it so much because during that time when I watched it, I thought we had Angelus back. I was dreading it. Angel sold the shit out of that. Like, he went all in. There was no holds bar when it came to him pretending to be Angelus. Nailed it. And he was a very good actor in that moment. I was shook. Did I say that I was shook? Because I was shook, guys. It's just one of those twists that I feel will just constantly be a memory of mine. So I had to give that the most memorable moment. I just had to. But I would love to know what you found the most memorable scene from season 3, and let me know in the comments below. But next up is the most comedic moment in season 3. Now, there was so many that I could have chose from this, and I feel as though people will disagree and find other ones more like memorable and more funny to them, but this is the one that got me. It got me belly laughing. It has to be the 318 ear shot when, you know what, I'm just gonna play the clip.
I've got laundry.
Why are you... You had sex with Giles? You had sex with Giles?
It was the candy. We were teenagers.
On the hood of a police car?
I'll be downstairs. You feel better.
It's just so funny, guys. It's so funny to me. I think they nailed it because Buffy's expression was just pure, like, what? Like, shock and anger and, like, disgust all rolled into one. Whereas Joyce is just like, oh, okay then, bye. It's just all like frantic and all a fluster, and I loved it. And then just to add to the comedy gold, we got Giles's response to Buffy bringing it up as well. I was just like, yes.
Feel up to some training?
Sure, we can work it after school. You know, if you're not too busy having sex with my mother.
I knew it. Yes, he walks into that tree. Oh, it's fucking brilliant. I love it. I love this show. I love this show, guys. Big fan. And I want to choose a most emotional scene. We know that Dakara came out many a time through this season, and it was a hard choice for me to make this. And I don't know if I feel differently after the fact, like, reflecting on season 3. Maybe during, I would have picked a different episode. But for me, I'm gonna choose 302. And that was the moment when Buffy and Willow had that heart-to-heart, that one-on-one. I just loved it, guys. I loved it so much. And yes, I know that there was many more emotional scenes like with Buffy and Angel, when it started snowing, like when they broke up, that was very raw, very emotional. So many moments between the two of them that were, heavy hitters. And when Willow and Xander were caught and all that mess that had as well, with Giles and obviously losing his job and that whole debacle, Faith killing a guy and getting emotional. I did so many amazing episodes in this. But yeah, I'm gonna say that 302, where Willow and Buffy had that moment, it just felt so raw. It felt real. It felt like something that anyone could relate to, because friendship is such a relatable topic, and the trials and tribulations that come with friendship as well. And it was nice to have that very heated back and forth between them, and then have that closure there as well, like get it all out, and then things start actually improving rather than, you know, keeping everything bottled up. So yeah, that is my answer. My favourite ship and why has to be Willow and Oz. I can't tell you how much I love these guys, honestly. Like, when they explored the whole Willow Xander shit that I wasn't a fan of, I was wounded, because I didn't want Oz, who I care for and I think is a brilliant guy, to have to deal with getting hurt in that way, like to lose trust like that. Like seeing Cordelia's reaction to finding Willow and Xander together, it was just painful. And Cordelia is a tough cooker. We know this for a fact. Yet that stung her, it broke her for a while, and she even tried to erase Buffy from existence following that. So it had a lot of repercussions. I'm glad that we explored a relationship where it wasn't perfect. A hiccup happened, a massive bump in the road happened, yet they were drawn back to each other. And I feel as though now they are stronger than they've ever been. Like, they've took things to the next step. They talk openly to each other. I mean, more Willow talking and Oz just soaking it in. But still, like, they're connected. And I like that they're brought together. Like, even though Oz is a werewolf, still have to remind myself of that at times. But we got a reminder in, what episode was it? 304, I think it was. It just shows again that Willow is there for him through everything, and vice versa. Like, they just seem to protect each other at all times, and I just love them so much. So yeah, my favorite ship, guys, at the minute. The big one now is my predictions for season 4, and I have thought about this quite a lot, and it's this whole college thing that I can't get out of my head. So like I mentioned in my finale reaction, they could potentially go down the road of having like the summer and having season 4 as their summer, where they're not in school, they're not in college, they're just having time off for themselves, and it can just be like fights. Or they could do straight away the introduction to college and just go straight in there with the culture shock that everyone, like the Scooby Gang, is gonna feel. We'll have so many different dynamics. I'm very excited to explore the whole college thing, to be honest, because I feel like it either makes or breaks a show, because sometimes they can do it quite badly, whereas when they do it well, to me, I feel more connected. Whether that's just because I'm older and watching, I don't know, but the shows do typically end up being more mature, and because we're connected to these characters now, everything should feel a lot heavier. I think predictions wise, I'm gonna say we'll see Faith again. Why would they keep her in a coma if they weren't gonna bring her back? Don't tell me, guys. I don't want any spoilers in the comments below, so please be careful about what you say. But that is just a hope that I have. I hope to see Faith again. I don't know why I struggle to say that. Another prediction is that we're gonna see Buffy without Angel, because this is something that I haven't really spoke about yet, and that is the choice that Angel made at the end, which was to leave after the Ascension. Now, I'm fully aware that Angel, the TV show, starts well, now I've been given an episode watch list. Venice, thank you so much for providing that. So I'm going to follow that watch list. And over on Patreon, I'm going to be doing one Buffy, one Angel, and we'll see how it goes depending on my watch list. So say if on one week it's saying that I need to be watching 3 in a row and then 3 Angels in a row, that is just how I'm going to end up posting it on Patreon. So I really hope that you guys are happy with that. It's just, I want it to flow as best as it can. So that's the reason why I'm doing it that way. But anyway, I digress again. So with Angel, he's going to be off on his own adventures now. And yes, it will like coincide a bit with Buffy. Like there's going to be crossover there. And I'm excited for that. But that means that Buffy is no longer, you know, pining. Well, she'll probably pine at first, but have Angel there as a partner, as a close confidant, you know. So we're gonna see a new side of Buffy as well. We dabbled in her dating in this season, in season 3. Didn't go too well, but we dabbled. I feel as though this time it's going to be more serious, because before she was all mopey because she thought he was dead. Very different circumstances, death or moved out of town. So she knows that Angel is still alive, well, still roaming the earth, whereas before she didn't. And now I imagine she'll be thinking, I don't really want anyone else, but I know that I have to move on at the same time. So there could be either Buffy just goes all out and ends up dating a bunch of guys and like whatever, or maybe this perfect guy will come along and just sweep her off her feet. Surely we'll see some new characters being introduced in this one, especially if they are going to college. I want to see some new characters. Hopefully I love them as well, please and thank you. That's another thing I haven't spoke about either, is Wesley. Because Wesley was newly introduced, other than Faith as well, and he wasn't for me. He wasn't for me. At the beginning, when he was introduced, he wasn't for me. He did sort of grow though. I do feel as though he became like added comedy relief type of thing, but I didn't hate it. The other thing I wanted to talk about, which I did not speak about in the finale, I don't know why I didn't, it just slipped my mind, but the whole Cordelia and Wesley kiss, like it was so uncomfortable, guys. So freaking uncomfortable to watch. And I'm glad, and I hope, please and thank you, that we never have to witness anything like that again. But yeah, moving on from that awkwardness, I hope that we see more of Joyce, and Joyce being proud of Buffy and what she's achieving. I want to see more Wicker Willow as well. Witchy Willow, I love, because I feel when she's diving into these spells and this whole Wicca culture, she's gaining confidence as well, which I love to see, because Willow is someone that quite shy, reserved, she's very intellectual, but she prefers being hidden more so than at the front with all the attention on her. So I like her finding this added hobby, I want to say, and introducing her to new friends, and it's just a new world, isn't it, really? And yeah, I love it. Love. One thing I do want to talk about actually, which I wasn't too pleased with, was Spike. Why bring in a character that's so captivating like that just to let him go pretty much straight away? Like, what? Why? Disappointed is the main thing. I think they should have utilised him a bit more. And don't get me wrong, I don't know what was going on behind the scenes. Maybe he had another job that he had to do and they literally couldn't get him. I don't know. But just focusing on storyline and that type of thing, I would have liked to have seen him a bit more. And yes, he is the bad guy. He is the bad vamp. But when he's on my screen, like, he has my attention. And I would like to know about Drusilla as well, because they mentioned it when Spike came back that she left or whatever, but did he find her? Can we see her again? Yeah, there's a lot of potential there that I'm hoping that we see more of. I do also want to see Giles back in his role, but at the same time, I don't want him confined to the whole council thing. Buffy did say she left the council, so maybe in season 4, that remains the same. She's no longer in the council. She refuses to take orders. and then her and Giles just, you know, crack on. I would like that. I would be happy. I would be happy if that's the route that they end up taking. But I do want to see Giles back in his normal attire. I miss the whole suit. I'd like to see that again. Also, I want to see Giles happy. Obviously, Jenny Calendar was a huge part and it's affected him quite a bit as well. I'm sure that when it comes to anything romantic, he might struggle a little bit. Yes, he had sex with Joyce on the top of a car, but that's as far as that went. And he was under some sort of curse spell, whatchamacallit, so it doesn't really count. I want to see him happy. Definitely. Right, guys, I am going to leave it there. I hope I didn't miss out too much, and I hope you enjoyed my recap and my predictions moving forward as well. Thank you so freaking much for watching my videos, guys. Like, honestly, it makes me smile. Seeing all of these new faces in my comments and over on my Patreon as well. Thank you so much, guys, for that. I hope that you know how much I am enjoying this show. I hope it's coming across. Obviously, I'm British, so my emotions only reach so far. But I hope you know that I do love this show dearly. I went to a convention, got myself a Buffy t-shirt. You know, I'm in, guys. I'm in. And I hope to just fall deeper in love with this show, in all honesty. And I hope you guys will join me for the ride as well, because it would mean so much. Thank you for watching. Give it a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you'd like to, but as always, there's no pressure here. But I'd love to have you. Check out my links in the description below. And I'll hope to see you for season 4, guys. And for Angel, let's not forget that. I'll see you soon. Bye.